Ask the Smashcast!
Zelda! Lucina! It's so nice to see you two outside the battlefield. Come, sit with us.
We were just catching up on things. I don't think I've ever gotten to really talk with Peach anymore between Smash, all the kart tournaments, and all those crazy parties we've had.
Thank you so much for inviting us. This garden is quite beautiful, isn't it, Lucina?
Of course. I suppose it's nice.
Are you okay, dear?
Oh, don't be worried, Peach. Lucina isn't too used to a calmer life off the battlefield.
Hey, I getcha. Life's not fun if it gets too boring.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with some calm and quiet now and then.
I wouldn't really know much about that, if I'll be honest.
Do you wish to talk about it?
Hello, ladies!
Lucy, we talked about this.
I'm sorry if I picked a bad time, ladies, but the Smashcast crew have decided that this next episode should be focusing on some of our fair princesses.
Fair?
Did I say fair? I meant our four princesses.
Oh, us? Wow, that sounds like a wonderful idea.
Yeah, I've been waiting for my turn at this Q&A thing.
What do you say, Lucina? Would you be okay with doing that?
I see no harm in humoring the people with some answers, so long as the questions aren't too personal.
That's the spirit, girlfriend. Now, on to the questions.
Don't test my patience.
Metal Ebrax asks to Princess Peach. We know one of your specialties is baking cake, but what other recipes do you like to cook?
Oh, well, there's a lot of sweets I love to bake. Cookies, muffins, cakes. Not pies, though. I tried to avoid making pies after Wario stole them all, only to throw them at my toads.
Hey, Toad! Thanks for dropping pie! These guys are quite tasty, but still...
I remember that! Oh, poor Luigi. He was cleaning lemon meringue out of his stash for hours!
It was not funny! That brew made such a mess and ruined our bake sale!
I'm a bit confused. Wario is clearly a destructive nuisance, so why do you keep inviting him, or Bowser for that matter, to all your sporting events?
Frankly, it's less of an upset than leaving him out of our events. He always intrudes on our get-togethers anyways, so I figured the least we could do is invite him.
Yeah, him and his dumb brother Waluigi. Actually, are they actually brothers? Anyway, they just don't take no for an answer, so we sort of gave up on kicking them out.
Liam the Yoshi asks, Daisy, is Bowser still scared of you after you slapped him to space in the third Mario Party?
Honestly, Bowser doesn't really seem like someone who'd go down that easily. I mean, Mario regularly dunks him in molten lava, so I figured a little slap won't even faze him. But every time I ask him, he doesn't really respond. Or make eye contact. Matter of fact, he always runs off the second he notices me.
Well, dear, you don't seem to know your own strength. Maybe you hit him a bit harder than you expected?
Maybe you're right. Is he scared of me after that? Oh, I hate to think I hurt his feelings.
Wait, now you two are feeling sorry for Bowser?
Well, he is a single father. He goes through enough as it is without having to put up with Mario ruining his plans.
Is that really an excuse for his other less than redeemable actions?
Well, no one is perfect, but I hope one day Bowser will straighten his act and learn to be a more compassionate leader and a better father for Junior.
And maybe work on that temper issue of his. I mean, you're not gonna keep a lot of friends when you're that loud and obnoxious.
Jota Kujo asks, a question for Zelda. So are you and Sheik still the same person, or are you two different people now? Considering, to my knowledge, Sheik doesn't exist in A Link Between Worlds. So is it possible there are actually two Zeldas?
Well, there are multiple versions of me and Link, so I just assumed Sheik is from one of those alternate timelines. If I'm not mistaken, she's also a Zelda that previously appeared in other Smash tournaments. If I can be completely honest, it feels so weird seeing another version of myself. I don't know how Link handles fighting against two Links.
Don't we have two Marios here too, technically?
Are you referring to that skinnier green Mario?
His name is Luigi.
Oh, so that's what he's called in this timeline?
In his what?
How about we move on to the next question?
Persona 75 asks to Lucina. Other than your own sword or the other Falchions, which sword out of all the sword wielders in Smash do you find to be your favorite? Whether it be from style, efficiency, power, or the background behind the blade.
While a lot of the blades here are rather impressive and all, I'd much rather try the Hero King's version of the Falchion. It seems it wouldn't be too different from my version of the Falchion. I'm just much more comfortable with a blade I'm familiar with rather than having to learn the inner workings of a new blade.
That's probably why most of the Links that show up only wield some variant of the Master Sword, instead of bringing any other melee weapon. Familiarity breeds proficiency, it seems.
Well, I'd like to give that huge sword that the spiky blonde guy carries a spin.
I don't know about that, Daisy dear. That sword looks awfully heavy. I'm still surprised Cloud can lift it with no problem.
Come on, Peachy. It can't be that heavy if he can swing it around with those thin arms of his.
Daisy.
Crazy Chris Draws asks to Peach. How was your vacation with Tiara after the events of Super Mario Odyssey? Also, was Toadette in charge of watching over the kingdom while you were away?
Oh, Tiara and I had a wonderful time. It was exciting going through all those vast and beautiful worlds Mario went through to try to rescue me. The giant fountain and bubble lane was just gorgeous. The food over at Mount Valbona was simply divine. And we almost got eaten by a T-Rex at Fossil Falls.
Man, it sounds like you two girls had a blast. Next time you go on vacation like that, be sure to let me know. I would have loved to see that.
Well, to be truthful, the entire trip was quite a spur-of-the-moment thing. I just wanted some time to myself and to better appreciate the world now that I didn't have Bowser dragging me across it.
That still brings up the question of who was watching over your castle and people while you were away. It seemed like the other Toads were quite startled by your sudden absence.
Well, Toadette had everything under control. She takes after me quite a bit. To, disturbing degree sometimes.
Are you referring to the...
We don't talk about it.
Edward Saba VO asks to Daisy. How did it feel getting into Smash?
It feels awesome! I've been trying my best to be supportive of Peach and Rosalina when they were put into Smash, but I always wanted to join the ring and spar off with all those heavy hitters too. And now that I finally get to do so, it makes me feel so alive!
And we're so happy that you joined us, dear. Smash just wasn't the same without my best friend.
Aw, Peachy, that's so sweet!
You certainly seem to be having a lot of fun out there. Guess it goes to show that you can make fighting fun if you try hard enough. Maybe we can try to find some ways to make being in Smash fun for you too, Lucy?
Honestly, I'm just happy seeing my father make it to this tournament along with Robin. Seeing him brings me all the joy I need.
Linz asks to Zelda. Both you and Link are seen playing several different instruments throughout the timelines, like the ocarina, pan flute, harp. As a fellow musician, I'm curious, which one is your favorite to play, and why?
While I am familiar with the other Zeldas and Link's proficiencies in their respective instruments, personally speaking, I actually prefer singing over playing an instrument. I feel like my music is much more personal and passionate when I'm the instrument, if that makes sense.
I'd say that makes sense. I love singing too. Whether it's while I'm baking, or going out on a stroll around the kingdom, or even when I pass the time sitting in one of Bowser's musty old cages. Do you like singing, Lucy?
Well, I can't say I engage in singing as enthusiastically as you two. I apparently find myself humming occasionally when I plan my next move or attack. Or at least that's what Robin has told me.
And don't think I didn't hear some of it while we were walking over to Peach's castle.
I never really thought about singing or humming like you guys do. Whenever I want to express what's in my mind or heart, I do it a bit differently.
And how would that be?
Simple. Screaming! Belting out all that pent-up energy in one singular shout just releases so much stress!
I see. Do you have to express it so loudly, though?
You get used to it after a while.
Ouija Prower asks, to Lucina. This may sound a little ridiculous, but have you ever met up with any other mask-wearing fighters, such as Joker or Meta Knight, outside of battle to share tips on proper mask care?
I never really thought to talk with either of them about that. Meta Knight seems to be too sheltered and distant, while I don't really trust Joker that much. He seems to stare at me with the intention of trying to court me, if that makes sense.
Tell me, Lucy, is it so much that creepy stare Bowser gives me every other week before he kidnaps me?
I think so.
Then yes, I would suggest being very cautious about him.
He's just a kid. What kind of trouble would he cause for Lucy?
Doesn't he apparently steal people's hearts or something like that?
That sounds vicious. Don't worry, Lucina. We won't let him pry you open and rip out your heart.
I'm pretty sure it was meant to be a figure of speech, Zelda.
Oh! Disregard that outburst then.
But regarding the question at hand, I like to think I'm perfectly capable of taking care of my mask just fine on my own. That said, I do appreciate the helpful gesture.
Yon asks, to Peach. So what do you think about that time Luigi cosplayed as you?
Well, I knew he did it for the sake of fooling Cacoletta so that she wouldn't kidnap me. And I do appreciate that he was willing to put himself through that to protect me. And that's all I choose to say on the matter.
Not gonna lie though, Luigi totally rocked your dress, Peachy. He definitely got the figure for it.
That reminds me what I heard back in the first episode, where Link apparently dressed as a Gerudo.
If it was necessary to achieve a greater goal, I don't see why it should be treated as a laughing matter.
Oh, come on, Lucy. Even you have to admit that... Oh, right. I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought so.
T-Chrono13 asks, to Daisy. If given the option to change up your moveset to be different than Peach's, would you do it? And what new attacks would you use?
First and foremost, I ditch all that frilly heart magic. Sure, that works fine for Peach, but I want to show that I don't mess around. I need attacks that show that I'm not gonna hold back when I throw a swing. I know some people suggest I should focus on some of my sporting techniques, which I think would be pretty sweet. Also, no toads. I don't need someone to try and take my blows for me.
It certainly sounds like a much more aggressive playstyle compared to Peach.
Well, Daisy is a very competitive person. When she wants to win, I feel sorry for whoever's in her way.
Maybe if you return in the next game, they'll promote you from being an Echo Fighter to something more unique.
If? Don't you mean when?
Right, of course.
Catalyst asks, to Zelda. A little nature goddess told me that Pit got all lovey-dovey during the Palutena's guidance segment for you. I don't blame him. There's a lot to admire about you. But how do you deal with folks wanting your affection?
Oh, I didn't know Pit had some sort of crush on me. I honestly think that's kind of cute. But I'm not entirely sure he's my type. He seems a bit too naive, for lack of a better word.
Plus, apparently, he can't read.
Yes, there's that too. As for others who want my affections, I honestly never considered it. I've usually been too busy helping maintain peace in Hyrule to even consider such personal endeavors. I wouldn't be against seeing if I can form a relationship with someone, but I don't think it's something I should focus on at this moment.
Don't worry, Zelda. If you're not ready for a commitment like that, no one should force you into such a thing. You need to let love happen at your own pace.
Why don't you return any of my calls, Pigeon Kid?
Like I said, at your own pace.
Mr. V Studios asks, to Lucina. Has it ever felt awkward for you to meet Marth? I know I'd feel a bit off about meeting someone I was posing as in order to win a war.
It didn't actually feel that awkward at all. I had met him before on the battlefield and saw him in action. Admittedly, when I did meet him, I was in awe at how amazing it was to meet the legendary Hero King. However, it did feel rather odd that he was a bit different than the legends that surround him. He was much more calm and humble than I would expect someone with the moniker of Hero King to be. Still, I didn't feel awkward as much as I felt honored.
And you posed as him in your time to inspire a sense of hope onto your fellow warriors? What a bold and selfless task to uphold. I wonder how difficult it was to maintain that ruse for you.
It wasn't easy. In fact, in many ways, it was quite frightening. I was worried I wasn't able to live up to the very name I was using. That one wrong move would end up tarnishing the hope I was trying to instill. But for the sake of the future I was fighting for, it was worth it.
Whoa, that's pretty deep.
I bet Marth would be proud to know that someone as brave as you held his name.
Yeah, you really shouldn't underestimate yourself like that, Lucy.
Thank you. It means a lot to hear such kind praise from you all.
Venom W asks, to Peach, how would you feel if there was a Wario Peachy, a Wario-styled rival of Peach that was scrapped?
Honestly, I don't know if I would like that. Wario and Waluigi are already a handful to deal with. I feel like having a third one of them. And, Wario Peachy, no less, would be incredibly unpleasant. So, no, I wouldn't like to have a Wario rival, thank you very much.
To Daisy, have you ever wanted to go ghost hunting with Luigi?
Sure, it sounds like a lot of fun. I know Luigi could use all the help he can get dealing with those dumb boos. Plus, I love getting time to spend with Polterpup. He's just so cute!
To Zelda, where'd you get that phantom? And have you ever thought about possessing it?
I believe that phantom is a manifestation of a previous Zelda. One that's not too different from Toon Link, if I'm correct. She agreed to aid me whenever I needed the assistance. As for possessing it myself, I don't know if I could really maneuver that well in it like she does, so I'll have to pass.
And to Lucina, if you could time travel again to a different time period and location, where would you go?
Well, I certainly would love to travel back to when King Marth was at his prime, just so I could see for myself his glory, and if I was replicating him right from my facade. Otherwise, I'm not entirely sure where else I would like to travel. It never really crossed my mind.
The legendary sorcerer asks, to all of you, how would you feel if I said the following to you girls in battle?
You think you can beat me, princesses? I am the legendary sorcerer, defender
It's a semi-former.
of the Magic Kingdom, Herrick, vanquisher of video game villains and antagonists, and longtime portal master of Skylanders Legions. You will not defeat me!
Who?
Skylar Torai VA asks, to Peach, why did you deny Mario's proposal at the end of Mario Odyssey? You clearly love him. I just want to know why you decided it was best to deny his proposal, since you two have been together for a long time.
Another one of these. Look, I care for Mario very deeply, but you need to understand this from my perspective. Bowser had me dragged across the entire world for a wedding against my consent, including taking me to the moon. And the moment I finally got a chance to catch my breath, both Mario and Bowser shoved their proposals in my face like a pair of impatient children.
True, but you could have at least apologized to Mario and Bowser for that response.
Oh, don't worry. Once I got home, I explained everything to Mario. He was very understanding of me, and even apologized for his sudden forwardness.
And Bowser?
What about Bowser?
To Daisy, I wonder what you're doing differently to your kingdom to not get you kidnapped as much as Peach does. Seems you're doing something right in comparison to Peach.
Well, I will admit, it helps that not a whole lot of people really know my kingdom exists. Yep, very fortunate in that regard. Plus, I guess that little slap I gave Bowser made him spread word that you shouldn't mess with me. Not that I can blame him.
To Lucina, how did you feel when going back in time to see your father, and possibly your mother as well, in their prime when you were disguised as Marth?
It was very conflicting, if I may be honest. On the one hand, it was great seeing him again, as well as my mother. On the other hand, it was very troubling because I knew what would happen in the future. It's not exactly easy to explain, but I hope it clears up what you were asking about.
Well, that should cover it for today's episode. I'd like to thank all of you lovely ladies for your participation.
Well, thank you for letting us. It was quite fun going through, well, most of them.
Yeah, it was a blast! Did you enjoy any of it, Lucy?
Well, it certainly was enlightening, to say the least. Also, I'd like to say I'm grateful for how supportive you ladies have been. It's not very easy for me to mingle with the other Smash characters as it is with you three. So, thank you for helping me through this.
Well, of course we'd help you through it, Lucy. Us princesses gotta stick together, and we'd gladly do the same for you.
Indeed we would. Maybe next time you two could come over for lunch. Or maybe our next card tournament.
I'll consider it, but still, thank you for the invitation.
Oh! I know one thing we could all do together!
Oh, goddess.
What would that be?
You, what are... you... Oh, I think I know what you're talking about!
What is she talking about?
Lucy, you might wanna... Cover your ears. Are you alright?
Just... peachy.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Ask the Smashcast. Who will be in the next episode? We're going to let you, the viewers, decide that. Simply go to the community tab of the channel and vote on which group of fighters will appear in the next episode. Be sure to attach your questions along with your vote. And if you want to stay updated on Ask the Smashcast, subscribe! And hit the bell icon to receive instant notifications. Until next time, have a smashing day! And we'll see you on the battlefield!